लाइव मत करो।
You're live now. You can start speaking.
Hello, good evening everyone. Hi, good evening everyone. Welcome to KB Classes Exam Prep, and today we are here to discuss about NATA previous year question papers, the drawing section. Okay, I hope all of you are aware that this year we are having the drawing section also in NATA. Okay, so unlike previous years, where due to COVID they had done away with the drawing section. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I have over here the syllabus of drawing test. So let me just tell to all our viewers that please subscribe to our channel KB Classes Exam Prep, and also download our app which is KP Classes Exam Prep, again the same name. So please subscribe and also download the application. You will be getting a lot of benefits for the same. Subscribe to our channel. Okay, so let's get started. So somebody had asked me that for past 2-3 years due to pandemic there was only a cognitive drawing test that was happening in NATA, and this year they have again came back with the old curriculum of having a offline drawing examination where apart from the objective type questions, apart from the multiple choice questions, they were supposed to students are supposed to also attempt the part B or the section B, which comprises of drawing questions. Okay. Now, what is NATA syllabus all about, and what are they trying to judge? On what basis are they trying to judge the students? Let's look at that. So here I have noted down the syllabus for the drawing test, for the drawing part. Okay, so I will read it out to you so that students who are not aware, or who just thought that this year also, like previous year, there won't be any drawing test, so for them, they would know that okay, these are the topics that they have to work on. So I hope you are able to see my screen properly. Okay, kindly once again I would tell all the viewers to please subscribe to the channel, because you will be getting a lot of inputs on the channel. Okay, there is a 51-day NATA crash course also, which gives the overview. Okay, please remember, it gives an overview, and for a complete course, kindly get in touch with our counselors. They will help you, they will guide you and explain you the preparation process. Okay, so there we go. So scale and proportion of objects. So I'm reading out the syllabus of drawing test, okay, to all of you, which is, the first is scale and proportion of objects. So basically you might be given certain objects, and you might not be given, might be asked to draw certain objects. For example, I have these stationary items with me. Okay, or maybe they'll ask you to draw a 3-pin plug along with a pencil. So what they are trying to understand is that what do you understand proportions or not? Something, the size of something as compared to some other object. Like if you look at a glass, right, which a glass and an eraser, there is a difference in size. So those basic understanding of scale and proportions, so they judged those things. Then we have geometric composition. A lot of students, they get confused about what is geometric composition. So you might be given some forms, or you might be given some shapes. Okay, for example, like a very common question that comes in NATA as well as JE is like, they'll say that use 6 equilateral triangle and make a composition in a box which is given in your answer sheets. So you have to just compose those equilateral triangles together to make it look aesthetically pleasing. Okay, aesthetics is something which is important for students who are aspiring for architecture. Okay, then shape, building forms and elements, aesthetic. See, this word has already been used over here, and I'm reading out the syllabus which has been laid down by the agencies which are conducting NATA examination. Okay, so aesthetics, color, texture, these are the things that they will be judging you on, right? Shapes, different shapes. If you have been asked to color, like the equilateral triangle question, in a lot of cases you will be asked to even use color, right? So you will be using appropriate color according to the color scheme. Now over here, the color theory becomes very important. Okay, so kindly go through our study material and also some of our free classes on YouTube. We have spoken about the color theory as well. Then textures, right? What is a texture? Texture is the tactile quality of any particular surface. Like for example, over here, if you can see it under the camera, the texture, it is textured, right, to help us to hold it better, to have a better grip, and the rest of the part is all plain, right? So these things are important, and what the surface is like, what wooden surface appears to be like, what a plastic appears to be like, what a paper appears to be like. That texture becomes very important to understand different material. Then harmony and contrast, these are part of your principle and elements of design, and they actually are very very important part of your B.ARCH examination. Next is conceptualization, visualization through structuring objects in memory. So for example, you might get a question where they ask you that there is a table, and on the table maybe 2 apples, 1 knife and 1 spoon is kept. So how would it appear, right, if they are kept together? So how do they appear? So basic your structuring of objects from memory, you would draw it. Then drawing of patterns, both geometric and abstract form transformation in 2D and 3D. Okay, so please try and understand there are two aspects: 2D, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional. Like I spoke to you about the question which is about make a composition using equilateral triangle. So that question would fall under 2D composition, okay, where it is just a simple surface and you are creating a two-dimensional composition, like a pattern on a floor or a pattern on a wallpaper that you see. Those are 2Ds. And 3D is like you are drawing certain objects or certain forms, like a cuboid, spherical shape, cylinder. You are drawing them together. Those are 3D compositions. Subtraction, rotation, surfaces, volumes, etc. So these are certain parameters that you keep in mind while you are making 2D and 3D composition. You might be adding something, so you might be subtracting something, rotating something. Subtraction means, say for example, if you are overlapping two shapes, right? So the shape which falls behind, you won't be able to see the whole part of it. So that's what it means. Creating 2D and 3D composition using given shapes, forms, generate a plan, elevation and 3D view of objects. Okay. Then last is perspective drawing, sketching of urban scape and landscape, common day-to-day life objects like furniture, equipments, etc. from memory. Obviously you'll have to draw everything from memory. You will be given those things in the question, that what exactly you have to make, what scene you have to draw, and you'll have to draw it from memory. There is no live sketching involved. Okay, you are not doing any particular live sketching, but you are doing plain and simple memory drawing. Okay, so guys, I wanted to take up this part today where students find it very very difficult, which is the memory drawing and the perspective drawing, because the weightage will be a lot, and it is given a lot of importance because it's a very elaborate question. Okay, also I would like to tell you, as per our previous NATA curriculum, generally students used to get 3 questions. One question is always based on something 3D. One question is based on 2D. Okay, 2D can be sketching a pattern of a wallpaper, sketching a pattern of a floor, or or making a logo is also 2D. It falls under 2D. Poster design, these are all falling under 2D. So, or graphic design. So you would get 3 questions. First will be the form composition and all, or object composition, right? Second will be 2D, and one question is always dedicated to your memory drawing or your ability to draw something in perspective. Okay, these are the things that these are the broad segregations, and this is the format which is followed by NATA. So let's get started and let's talk about the perspective drawing or memory drawing. And now I have seen a lot of students find it difficult, okay, to imagine a scene from memory, okay. If they get a reference, it's very easy for them to draw, but to draw something from memory, that takes a little bit of a challenge, okay. So let's take up that challenge, okay, and let's start to draw. So I will be giving you some thumbnails, very basic thumbnails, so that you understand that what your approach should be, okay. The approach is very important. A lot of students, they have to understand that the approach is very important. So first drawing that we will be doing is of a classroom, okay. So let's see. So why I am doing a classroom is because there are two questions that I want to do right now. So one is the interior of a classroom, okay, and the other one will be a scene drawing of an exterior, right. So first we pick up an interior and the second one will be an exterior, okay. So let's get started, guys. And since this is a live session, I'm sure a lot of you have joined us, and please write it down in the comments what more you want to see in terms of drawing, what more you want to learn in terms of sketching, so that we can come up with more such videos and live sessions for all of you. So let's start. It's very important for all of you to take up the right kind of pencils that you are comfortable with. I always repeat this in all my videos that not everybody is comfortable with all sort of pencils, right? There can be variations, so try it out first. You shouldn't be sitting and experimenting on the day of your exam, but should be trying it out first. So before starting anything, I believe in making a very rough thumbnail, and that's what exactly I will be doing. So what is my first step? So let's assume that this is the area of the paper that I have got. Okay, so I'm drawing it on a A5 size. Okay. So when I have taken this A5 size, right? And then the first step to your sketching is to always denote your eye level. Yes, you're right, your eye level or the horizon line. Now, a very common question that I get is how do I decide an eye level, right? So in case your question mentions it that there is a specific, you are looking at it from a specific eye level, right? Then you can take it accordingly. If nothing is mentioned, then I always like to take things at an eye level, from my eye level, okay, as if I'm standing somewhere or sitting somewhere and then looking at a scene. And as a rule, I always draw the eye level on the upper half of the page. If this is my sketching area, then this is the half of the sketching area. I always take it on the upper half. I might do some variations also in that, but that depends on my question. So this is my eye level, and I'm drawing a interior of a classroom. Okay, so I'll just write it down over here. Classroom, an empty classroom. Okay, and I'm drawing it in 2-point perspective, so that's up to me. If nothing is mentioned, then you can take the perspective that you're comfortable with, the your particular point of view. So I'm drawing the boundary. Why I'm drawing the boundary? Because this is where my vanishing points are. I would always take the vanishing points away from each other, both the vanishing points in 2-point perspective, and preferably outside my drawing space. Okay, I don't like to take it inside. I mean, you'll go terribly wrong. Don't do that. Always take it away from each other as far as possible and outside the drawing area. And the next thing is drawing the corner. Okay, now I'm not making this is my corner wall, and I'm assuming that this is either 10 feet or 12 feet. Okay, now if you make it a little bigger, then you're not left with any space on the floor. Okay, so you need to also give other details like the few furnitures and everything. So would like to take it, but not like to take it very big. And if you assume that the person is sitting, then you can make it little bigger. So you can play with the corner. Now this is the corner which would should be drawn first, and this will be the deciding factor of your room. Okay, so I got my room ready. This is my classroom, right? I just took a optimum distance. Now my next step is I would add a door over here. So I'm doing the basic placements. So my door is over here. I'm assuming that if my room is like 10 feet or 12 feet, say 10 feet, let's assume that this is around 12 feet, so this should be 7.5 feet the height. So always also check what is the midpoint of this. Okay, the reason being because if this is 10 or 12 feet, then the midpoint should be like 5 feet or 6 feet, right? So that gives you a very good assumption of other things, like if I have to make a board or something. So I won't be making it too high, because teacher won't be able to reach till that height. So you have to always make things according to the proportion, right? Over here the proportion thing has come, and you have to mark the spaces according to the proportion. Okay, so I'm not giving any detailing, I'm just doing the basic placements. Okay, now if this is my board, then I would also have the table of the teacher. Now what is the height of a table? So if this is 10 feet, this is 5 feet, height of a table, of a normal study table of where of an adult will be around 2.75 or 2.8 feet or something. So little more than half of it. So I have marked it over here. If, see, understand, if this is 10 feet, this is 5 feet, the half of it is 2.5. So I'm taking it little more than 2.5. Okay, so that will be the height of my table. So this will be the height of the table if my table is kept here near the wall. Okay, so I have just extended it. This particular part I have extended it. And now of course the table won't be sticking to the wall, right? So I'm just taking it little further. So here we have the benchmarking of the table, right? And I'm just simply taking it little further. Please remember, I'm making the teacher's table, okay? That's why it's near the blackboard. And I'm not drawing the table right now completely. I'm just assuming the height and everything, so that we don't go wrong in the part of proportion. So simply, what is a table? It's cuboidal structure, right? Simply you can imagine it in the form of a cuboid right now. Please remember, if you're making a particular interior of a bedroom, study room, classroom, be prepared to get a lot of these guidelines and perspective lines. You can always erase them later on, okay? Need not worry about that. And this is like a rough sketch. I'm using my mechanical pencil so that it's easy for me to erase it out. I'm making my lines a little darker than usual so that you can see it on cam and it's clear, okay? Next is, so here we have the teacher's table. I'll just erase a little bit of an extra line so that you guys you can imagine and figure it out what this is. Do a lot of overlapping, like for example this board has been overlapped by the table. These things are important, makes your sketch looks more realistic, okay? Now that is what we were reading right over here in the syllabus: abstraction, rotation, surface, values, etc. So you are subtracting something in order to show what's there in the front. Then we will be having this furnitures of the students as well. So obviously they would not be sticking exactly with the teacher's table. They'll be a little away from the teacher's table. So let's assume that they are somewhere here. We are marking the space on the floor. We are making a grid. Here I'm keeping some area for the passage, and I'm making the tables of the similar height. Like for example, if my teacher's table is around 2.75 feet, so I'm taking the similar sort of a height of the student's table as well. Maybe I make it a tad bit smaller, but more or less if it's a classroom of grown-up students, then it will be of the same height. If it's a kindergarten school or a nursery classroom, then obviously the stools and the tables and the chairs and everything, the furnitures will be according to the users. So please read the question properly. Whenever they are putting up a question, always understand that what are you going to make and for whom are you going to make. So this was the line where I was planning to draw the desk of the students. So you are continuously making the grid. From the grid that you have made on the floor, you are elevating it. Okay. So one table over here. Right, so here are my tables, and I'll make another row if it's visible over here. Okay, yeah, so now I'm left with making the chairs or the stools. Okay, so now it's not necessary that the chairs are all kept aligned, but mostly in schools and colleges and educational institutes, mostly the tables and the chairs are kept in a very aligned manner, right? Again, if there is if you're asked to do some sort of a variation in the alignment, you can do those things. And of course, I am making the chairs a little bit, the backrest and everything a little bit slanting. Please also keep in mind these important things, that chair cannot be too stiff and everything. Right, so more or less I got my structure ready, right? So now my next step will be to make it, darken it out. So I can use a pen. I'm using a pen for you guys so that you can understand, and whenever I'm erasing, the extra lines are erased. I'll add some more detailing, like say a chart or some information over here, a clock over here maybe, and if you want you can add a cupboard. Cupboard or a shelf, bookshelf sort of a thing. Okay, don't want to make the door too much near the wall. I'll just erase it and make it, I'll shift the door a little bit over here. Because I wanted to keep the almirah or the shelf over here, so you cannot have the door right there. So use these sort of, do a little bit of a calculation of how things might be placed somewhere. Okay, so I'll add a switchboard over here. And another bulletin board where certain things are displayed, notice board or something. Right, so now I'll fare it out. Again, I'm not giving too much of a detailing, just doing a very freehand sort of a sketch so that you understand how I got to this point. Whenever you're making any furniture, any table, always give thickness to it. Now what is the thickness? Again, I cannot show the thickness part in each and every furniture, but yeah, I'm showing this. So the top has to be thick, the sides have to be thicker, right? The legs need to be in 3D. Be consistent with the legs and all. You can always sketch them with pencil before. I did not do that detailing with pencil. They were just simple lines. So also look for the instructions in your question paper where they have asked you to draw to color it or not. Those are the instructions that you need to look forward for to. So shading, coloring if required, because definitely if they haven't asked you to color anything, then definitely they will be asking you to shade it. Okay, so use the proper texture, what the texture of the furnitures will be, what sort of a texturing you have on the wall. Those are the things which are very, very important. Don't forget the walls while you are working on the furnitures. Like, yeah, the wall is over here. So I'll use my eraser and erase all the extra lines. I mean, I would do this particular step of erasing when I'm done with my basic sketching and placement and I have to start coloring or I have to start shading. But since I'm doing a live thing and showing it to you, so I wanted to just darken out the lines for you all to see. Okay, and so that I did not miss out any of the lines, important lines, because this grid is, so I wanted to clean it up. Now we'll notice something. Once you have erased everything, the floor is looking very flat, right? So you simply add a little bit of a texture on the floor, because I haven't done any sort of texturing on the furnitures as well, right? So it's a good idea to add a little bit of a texture on the floor so that it starts looking 3D and it doesn't look too flat. Okay, you can just give a little bit of a detailing. So that your eyes can differentiate between the elevated area and the floor. You can do all these detailings at the end, but the most important thing is the placement. Okay, your room, your eye level, the placement of your furnitures and everything. So once you do your proper shading and everything, it will again start looking very 3D. Okay, so next we'll quickly see another question, and I have done again a very basic sketch of it. So this particular question was, you are sitting in the passenger seat. This had come previously in the examination. Okay, so you are sitting in the passenger seat of a car, and the car is stuck in traffic in a market area. Draw the scene from your point of view or your POV. So again, the first step has to be your eye level. I had taken my eye level over here, and I had taken my vanishing point over here. Okay, 1 point perspective, since it's from the person who's sitting on the traveler's seat's point of view. So here I have my vanishing point. Okay, my eye level, because I had noticed that once we are sitting in the car, adults, how much of the view we see of outside and how much of the view we see of the inside of the car. So you have to decide on that, and accordingly I have simply added the vehicles, and the vehicles need to go above your eye level, right? See, this auto is above my eye level. A person who's in a bike or something is above my eye level. Here also, if I'm making a placement of people, it's above my eye level. Okay, so that is very important. I have added very small cars. It appears as if it's somewhere far away, but again it's above eye level. I have added some stickers over here which you would find on the windshield of a car. Here is the frame, the inner frame of the car. Okay, the detailing, and while you are making your sketch and you are doing the shading and all, make the inner part darker. Okay, always remember this is the inside, and also you would see a little bit of the ceiling. Okay, so make those things darker. So I'm just roughly doing it dark. This is the mirror, the rear view mirror, right? And then you go on adding vehicles. Bus, cars, everything above your eye level. Even if they are small in size, they are far away, they appear small in size, but you have to make them above eye level. This is the interior of the car. You can work more on the interior of the car, but my bottom line is you have to make it darker. Make it dark. Okay, so then you get the exterior view. This is again a very rough sketch. I basically wanted to show what the placements should be, what your first approach should be. So again, over here also my first approach was the eye level, and then I started putting elements which are near me, and then in the horizon you can show some poles, some trees and everything. Those detailings you can add, the pavements or the parking area and all, but take care of the proportion, and also remember your sitting, so everything else will appear to be on the top. Okay, I mean above your eye level, but they will be appearing smaller, and not too much of detailing of the outside view I have done, because you're just having a overall look. Okay, there are a lot of small things you can add. Somebody on cycle, somebody going on a bike, and cars and auto rickshaws and all, to make it look very lively and very natural. Okay, add those things. So guys, I hope this particular live class was useful for all of you. please do subscribe to our channel KP Classes Exam Prep, and also download our app. It has got a lot of information and a lot of free classes and videos as well, and that will be very, very beneficial to all of you. If you have any queries, you can check out the numbers which are given below in the link. And yeah, I hope you have benefited from it, right? And the exams are around the corner, so all the best to all of you. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you. Bye bye.